Okay, we're gonna smoke the front. This is week number 4.
I think that's right.
Yep.
4.
So last week on the 21st, that was our 21 day. The bees should have started having their first brood hatch. So we should get in here today and find a good patch of brood. Look at that. The bees are down. We're not seeing a lot of them on the inner cover there. So that's a plus. Means they're working. It's 11 o'clock right now, so let's see what we got. They've been flying for quite a while. Okay. Little Devil is still making burr comb for us.
Yeah, making a mess up there.
Okay. So we're gonna clean the burr comb off of the top of the frames, and they're staying down a little bit. So let's get that, and then we'll go through this hive. Now you can see we moved it on Saturday night, and I didn't go back through these hives, and this frame slid over. See that?
They didn't,
and created a gap.
They didn't put the year on these at the field day either.
You have your pen?
Yep, I sure do.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've got one in my pocket as well.
Okay, we like to take the comb off. I like to throw it in front of the hive, let them take any honey that's with it, and then I come back by here a day later and collect it, and we're going to melt it down. Okay, so we're going to take out this outside frame right here, because we know we've been working from that side.
2, 3, 4, 5.
How many frames? 6 in it.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got 6 frames of bees.
Yep. So we'll look to see what our hatch looks like. Okay.
Well, they're definitely starting to draw out on this corner.
So look at that. Okay, that's perfect. It's a good sign. See, they're drawing it out. Look at how pretty it is. I don't expect to see any brood on that yet, because where is your queen going to go? First thing she's going to do now is go back. She should go back through the. Put it over
right here, right next to me.
We like to see if it'll go up.
Yeah,
his pant leg. I'm waiting. One of these times it's going to happen.
I know.
I'm just praying.
And you're gonna laugh, Jerry. I know you.
They'll think it's insane. Okay.
Wow! Look at how much they've drawn that frame out.
Look at that. Now, look at what's going on there. We got a blocker, a frame of honey.
Nothing but honey.
Now, remember, this frame from the other videos, we've been slowly moving it over. Now, when we put it back in, we're going to reverse it. Okay? Because this is the side we want them to draw out. That one's pretty much full, so let's let them have this to play on. So turn it when you set it in there, just like that. So the goal here is to keep them just drawing the comb just like you want, but that's a beautiful job. That is beautiful.
Yeah, it sure was.
And I can look down there and tell you we got some brood. You notice we didn't really play around looking for brood. We didn't see activity
This is all
that
brood
would
on this side.
intend us to
Let's
go
do
look.
this side first.
Now, if you remember, now this should be pretty much all brood. Here is all larvae down here, it looks like.
Yeah,
Yep.
and backfilled.
And backfilled. So this is perfect. And so this will be the next frame to hatch where the cap brood is. Okay. And this side, the same thing.
Yeah, all of this edge here is
Look
been
at
filled
this.
in.
This is all white larvae. So what happened? The queen laid in the middle. They capped. Now she's laid all this ring out there. Look at this. Perfect honey here, everything. This hive didn't gain any weight, but it's been drawing a lot of comb. And the honey flow has slowed down here at my place.
You saw the eggs in there too?
Yeah, I sure did.
Okay. Not a lot of pollen so
Just
far.
so you know, John's got his glasses on so he can see this stuff. Look at how gentle these babies are.
This
Oh, love
whole
it.
frame.
Look at that brood.
Golly, it's so good.
Now look, here's one feeding the larvae. See that?
Yep.
See that? That's beautiful. Gets his head down there and feeds it. Remember, that larva's screaming at him to give him food. And the worker bees come up here and grab honey and off they go. It's a beautiful frame.
That is a gorgeous frame.
So that is 2 frames of brood. This is a super cap brood. So you can imagine this was frame number 4 coming in. And so we're in excellent shape. The corners have got honey in it for them. They're doing great. There's plenty of food here. So what we're going to do, I can tell you right now, is we will probably remove the feeder next week because it doesn't look like we need it. And when this brood hatches out, we're going to need another box. So that is another frame of cap brood.
It's all larva.
Yep. Look at that.
Wow.
You got some eggs down.
You notice
there,
we're
too.
not getting excited about looking for the queen because this baby's laying like she should. We don't need to bother her.
And you got, at least on this frame, you got some pollen.
pollen.
Look at all that
Across the
pollen.
top.
Beautiful.
Nice.
That's what you're looking for. Here's another thing. Look at how they're drawing right down to the bottom and stuff. That's excellent. And so at this side, another one just like it. Look at that. They're not leaving much room for her to lay there. So I think the frame number 1 and number 2 are going to be where we're going to find some open spot.
Oh, that's probably just a drone.
Yeah. That's what it is. We're good.
Yep.
All
Good-looking
right.
frame
So we
right
got capped. No, we got capped.
3.
I mean, so we'll need to mark them at the end.
Yeah.
We'll smoke the bees down for you. Look how he carefully looks for a spot to move the frame so he doesn't squash any bees. Remember, squashing bees means,
Oh, we had a hatch out.
there's where your new bees came from that are in this hive. Why the number of
There's your
bees
queen,
went
too.
up.
There she is.
There she is. She's back laying through. So remember what we said at the beginning. She's going to go back to where it's already drawn out, and she's going to start laying like heck. What do we see in there, John?
Looks like she's just gotten started.
Okay, that's what I would expect.
See up in here?
Yeah. Yeah, I see eggs and small larvae.
Yep.
A couple day old larvae, and this is all eggs right here.
Beautiful.
I'm gonna zoom in real quick, John.
So you can see she's doing everything the book says she should be doing, okay?
Finally, they're reading the book.
Yeah. You know, they hatched out, so the milk of her bees are over here. They don't need to make comb. She runs back over here and lays. This is going to be the next group to hatch out right here. By the time she lays in there, that'll be hatched out, and she'll lay in that.
Yeah, you
All
can
right.
see there's still honey and so.
Look at that. They even capped some of that honey, which is
Yep.
an excellent sign that we don't need to worry about feeding them.
Yeah.
Okay?
There's the queen
Yep, she
again.
moved to the other side.
See, she don't like being in that
And-
sunlight.
No, she doesn't.
This one looks like it's pretty well been laid in.
Oh, she's got
After-
it filled. Okay.
Yeah.
What do we got up here? I don't like seeing them all.
It's pollen, nectar,
Yeah.
and some cap brood and some larvae. Yeah, they're doing what they're
She's
supposed
pretty
to.
well laid that
yeah,
out,
she
huh?
has. Just the other side. She's about.
So we've hatched out close to a frame of bees. So we probably hatched out 6,000 bees, or let's say 5,000 bees added to this hive on that frame alone. And look at that, there's another one that's all hatched out. She'll be back here laying through that. So key is look where you think she's gonna be, and we knew she would be where the hatched out brood is. You can see them cleaning a cell right here.
Yep.
Okay, getting ready for her.
Polishing them up.
And there's pollen in this frame, and there's honey, and they're set to go. So we've had 2 frames hatched out, so, or partially hatched out. So that's we probably added 6,000 to 7,000 new bees to this hive since last Friday.
Since field day. Yeah.
How can
Yeah.
you beat that?
Yeah.
Okay. So that'll account for us when we open the hive, accounting for it. So this hive is going to need a second box
Yep.
next week. Okay. They're going to start feeling a little crowded when she's laid out all that.
I would just push them all together.
Smoke them down a little bit.
Yeah.
So when you see them all crowding up on the top, that's the time you want to apply a little smoke. Makes it safer for you, and we won't get John's hand stung. So,
That's all I'm getting to is just a little smoke.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, this hive is beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
So now remember, next week, or we can add an extra frame for them to lay in and draw out by removing that feeder frame. So if you're really concerned about your hive this week when you go through it, remove the feeder and put that extra frame in there. That gives them an insurance policy. Okay? But this one still got this, that they just started drawing that, so they got a full frame to draw on. That'll all be drawn out next Friday. Okay? So we're gonna write the year on the frame. I'm sorry we didn't do it on field day, but that's something we should have done. But you want to do that. It doesn't seem like it's important when you're first year beekeeper, but by the time you get to year 5, you're gonna want to know what frames are old to get rid of. And the reason we do this is the policy is after 5 years we.
I thought we
Oh
were
no,
gonna-
that was the half
Yep.
frame. Yep. That was the one we.
So we
spun
don't
around.
want to have people throwing away good frames, but we also don't want to keep frames that have had a lot of pesticide exposure from yards and stuff like that. Look at that beautiful hive. So we're going to put the top on. John's going to write, or Larry's going to write on there what we got. So you can see we weighed it on 5.2, and it was, what was the weight, 33 pounds. Today it was 34. But we've drawn out practically a frame and a half of foundation.
Of wax.
So that's a lot of honey they used.
So, yep, Queen right. We had 4.5 full frames, or 4.5 frames of drawn, and 5.
No, how many frames of bees did
bees.
we have?
We had 6 frames of bees.
6 frames of bees. 5
And
frames
you guys
of brood.
go-
4 frames of brood.
FD and 4.
Remember, 2 of those are hatched out, so that kind of creates a problem.
Yeah, that's all right. We'll be
Yep.
good. And then everything else looks good, right?
Yep.
All right.
Thank you.
See you next week. Week 5 next week. Adding boxes.